And we're back with another edition of the Pop Culture Cosmos. We truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast here today. And first off, before we get into anything, we want to thank you, the listeners, so much because you once again have made us for 8 months now in a row the number one show on the podcast radio network every Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. And also as well, we just truly cannot thank you enough for allowing us to be where we're at in the whole scheme of things. So we just cannot thank you enough for that. But we've got a great show lined up for you today, and who is here to help me just weed out all the pop culture stuff that's going on? He is the man, the myth, the legend. He is the lead driver of Humanica Media. It's Josh Peterson. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, man. Hey, so I'm the lead driver, but I sometimes feel like we're the pit crew for Pop Culture Cosmos. So
there you go. And Humanica Media, don't forget that. So, because we're always, like changing a tire, or when something goes down here, we have to fix that and whatnot. But we're always trying to keep Humanica Media and Pop Culture Cosmos finely tuned to be able to go ahead and finish that race. But we, like I said before, we just cannot thank you enough out there for allowing us to be number one for the 8th month in a row on the podcast radio network. It's all because of you that we're doing this, that we truly appreciate it. We've got a great show here today. We've got Rob McCallum from Nintendo Quest and RobMcCallumFilms.com. He is standing by with another great episode. In fact, 2 great subjects to talk about on this week's Cosmic Crossfire, or on this episode of Cosmic Crossfire. Also as well, we've got Tyler Baker from the Fantasy Football Podcast. He is stopping by with his thoughts from week 5 in the NFL. But Josh, had a lot of great things going on this weekend. A little movie came out as far as that I've been looking forward to, and I got a chance to see it, which we'll talk about here in a bit, or at least I will. And you'll be like, la, 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 can't hear spoilers, la, 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 la. And then later on, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Star Wars marketing engine just starting to rev up. It's starting to rev up because we'll talk about all the Star Wars stuff going down this week as well. But first, I know, Josh, you just got your hands on the Justice League trailer. It just came out. It hopefully sheds more light on what's going on within the Justice League movie. It's still, to me, a little bit dark. It keeps that dark theme going. I'm not sure I'm in love with that when they try to be all peppy and tell each other jokes and try to be all funny and witty and light, and yet it's just so dark and gloomy all around them. The contrast, I'm not kind of feeling it, but it's still kind of like a hard sell for me. But your thoughts now that you've seen the Justice League trailer, which debuted this weekend at the New York Comic Con?
I think it looks good. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it has a new kind of attitude to it, kind of like, they obviously turned a corner with Wonder Woman, and it seems like they're taking what they learned from Wonder Woman and applying it to the bigger realm of superheroes that they've created. And I think it looks like I don't so much think that it's the tone is changing. I think that it's having to adapt to these new characters that are being thrown in there. So you have like the Flash, who, obviously he's known for making jokes. And you have Aquaman, who's just this, apparently he's going to be like just a guy who loves to blow things up and stuff. So
he's like the wild card in all this situation, correct? As far as
Right. So I think, obviously you're going to have the dynamics going to be different with these 2 characters on there. It'd be like if we took in the Marvel universe, you have your more serious superheroes, and then you just threw Deadpool into the mix. Obviously there's going to be like some comedy and hijinks and stuff. And it's a refreshing thing. I just hope that they didn't show all the good parts in the trailer is kind of my concern there, because Warner Brothers has a habit of doing that. But, what do you think of it?
Well, I think, like I said, I'm not sure about that contrast. It's because it's still really dark and gloomy, and just the sheer balance of it. I'm not sure if I'm I'm totally vibing into it yet. I still want to know more, and I still want to be able to understand what's going on within that universe with Darkseid and all that. But maybe I'm a little bit warming up to it, just a little bit. But also, I also want to ask, as far as the whole parameters with the Justice League, where does Cyborg come into place? Because he really wasn't shown a presence in this latest Justice League trailer. It was mainly Aquaman, yelling and screaming throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, so Cyborg's kind of the wild card of the group. I think they're trying to kind of save like his storyline and what's going on with him, where he's going for the actual movie. Because obviously, you think you think the Justice League, you're gonna think the Flash, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, but Cyborg's kind of like he was in the Justice League, but he was sort of made popular in mainstream media by Teen Titans. So it's kind of cool that they're keeping that a little bit close to the belt. Obviously, we know he has some dialogue with Batman and Alfred and stuff. So it's I think that of all the characters, like his story is probably going to be the darkest. Because I don't know if you remember in the is either the trailer, the original trailer for Justice League, or it was the one of the files on Batman versus Superman, but like he, that cube started taking over him and he's like screaming in agonizing pain. So I think there's a backstory there that they're going to give us, but they want to surprise us with it. And I hope that it's worth the wait. And I'm being told that Joss Whedon did a good job with it. And so far it's been screening well with people. So let's hope that they got something good in store for us. And as for like the tone, the grittiness of it, like I like that. Like I don't, I like being able to go to see a Marvel movie and be able to laugh and joke around with it, and then going to see a DC movie and being like, okay, it's a little bit different toned. So we'll have to see. My big thing is, a lot of DC or Warner Brothers has been making a lot of comments lately about how they're not they're making all these different films and not all of them are tying into the greater story at large. And I'm not down for that, because I feel like watching these movies is all going to be a big waste of time if they don't, tie everything together. So it's, you know what I mean? You've been reading any of that stuff?
I have, and you and I over the past year have gone all over the place with, hey, they're looks like they're starting to learn their lesson. Everything's starting to fall into place on a schedule, but then they'll just throw 2 or 3 more projects just out of the universe that just blows your mind. What are they thinking? And they'll push other projects back that they're not as interested in. I'm not exactly sure 100% what the directive is going forward for Warner Brothers when it comes to the DC universe. But I will say this: it looks like Joss Whedon now firmly has a good control, a good handle on the Justice League situation when it comes to these are now, from this point forward, as far as the trailers, how it's being presented, at least at this point in time, is more of what Joss Whedon wants to, the people to see out there. I understand it's still Zack Snyder, and as far as he directing, most of the picture should go to him, and obviously that's his work is most of the picture that's accumulated. But it's beginning more and more to have those Joss Whedon touches that we've come familiar with when he was working in the Marvel universe. So that apart, I can see is maybe coming to fruition a little bit better, and maybe audiences will be more more likely to go ahead and be more receptive of this Justice League and of this DC universe, because it seems like they're trying to provide a little bit lighter tone than what they have in the past.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're listening to feedback from people, and that's good, and it's not all like Batman versus Superman, where the studio heads are getting too antsy with the footage, or not, they want to get too heavily involved. So that's good. But let's hope that it's something that kind of changes the game and keeps the goodwill of Wonder Woman going, and at the same time shows us something new without kind of pissing off fans. So it's, so far so good. I just hope that November doesn't roll around and we regret saying that.
I hope so as well. If you have any thoughts on the latest Justice League trailer, just please let us know. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Humanica Media, Pop Culture Cosmos, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. But before we go to another great song from Chad Smith and Hyperschmidt, we've got to cover a little movie that debuted at the box office this weekend called Blade Runner 2049. The good and the bad, and I'm going to just tell you straight as is, because I'm a huge Blade Runner fan. I'm kind of disappointed that it did not get the commercial success that I feel it deserves. Unfortunately, for whatever reasons, since people did not come and see it in the amount that was projected and was hoped for, looks to be right around $31 million domestically. Hopefully it will garner over $100 million worldwide in its first week, but still not quite the numbers that you want to see going forward. Hopefully it will have some legs. It's the cinema score is A-, and obviously the great reviews provided by critics all over the place that have hailed it as a great film, and obviously and possibly even an Oscar contender come at the end of the year. I myself have reviewed it. I've seen the movie. I saw it on IMAX, which is probably the best way to view it. If you want to catch my full review, it's on popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. So, Josh, I know you are going to see it Monday night, so better put on those earphones and la 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 la, because I'm going to be able to
muting now.
Muting now, indeed. He's been preparing to do that because he couldn't get a chance to see it over the weekend, but he, when he does, I think he will be very pleased with the result, because Blade Runner 2049 is, at this point in time, the best movie of the year. There's just no two ways about it. I think visually, it's just an outstanding film to watch. And also as well, the audio portion as well, the score, the musical sound, the musical score that accompanies it is just tremendous by Hans Zimmer as well. Cinematography, just all across the board, it just truly is an amazing film to watch. And I don't want to go too much into spoilers, because I know there's so much talk about releasing spoilers and releasing information for this film. I know that people in the movie and journalistic industry have said that Warner Brothers and the studio's reluctance, and Alcon Entertainment, their reluctance to release more information on the film may have prevented people from coming in to see it in the theaters. Maybe the runtime may have been a little bit too long. I will say this: it is 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think it would have been better served if it was 10% less, but 90% of the movie is absolutely, by far and away, the best movie of the year. 10% may have, could have been sliced out of there, and you would have had a much tighter, awesome, even more awesome movie. But still, what you have there is truly an incredible feast for the eyes and ears. Very, very influential story on how it intertwines with the original movie from 1982. To see Blade Runner in order to go ahead and enjoy Blade Runner 2049. It does help. I will tell you that. Indeed. And it just really, the story where Ryan Gosling as Agent K goes ahead and uncovers and is involved in an investigation that could really just undermine or break the fragile existence and the fragile truce between humans and the replicants that are androids that are created for the most part now by Jared Leto's character Wallace and the Wallace Corporation. I will tell you this: where the investigation goes at peaks and valleys, whatnot, it's very, very interesting to follow. For me, I didn't find any real bad points at all in the film. I just saw some extra fat that I think could have been chopped off. There were some scenes there, like an uncanny valley scene. There were some scenes maybe that were not needed, or they were nice to look at. They were okay to watch. They were fine to be left in there, but in retrospect, I think some of the scenes could have been left out of, and like I said, the film would have been much better for it. But I'll tell you what, if you really enjoyed Blade Runner, the original, like I did, you're going to think this movie's great, but not better than the original. But I will quote, or I will give respect to, what's his name? Jim Vevada of IGN, he did say if you actually watched the film before the original and liked it but didn't put it on a pedestal, you're going to think this film is you're probably going to think this film is truly awesome and is going to make the original even better. If you put it on a pedestal like I have, then you're probably going to think that it's a very, 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 very good film, but not exceeding the original. For those who have not seen anything prior in the Blade Runner universe, you're still going to be able to enjoy this film on a visual and definitely an audio basis. But you will probably might have some problems and issues figuring out what's going on as far as following the story and the conflict between humans and replicants, and how that figures in, how the whole familial aspect comes into play. But I'll tell you what, like I said, it is still, for virtually all the movie, far and away the best movie of the year. And check out my review on popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. You'll get a better idea. Plus, it also has, well, all the trailers, interviews, and then also as well, it has the actual buffer between the 3 shorts it has as well, between the original movie and the Blade Runner 2049. It has those. We have the YouTube link there for all 3 shorts as well. So check out my review, popculturecosmos.wordpress.com, and hopefully you get a better idea why Blade Runner 2049 is the best film so far of 2017. You can come back now.
Are we done?
And there was one part.
And everybody dies. Oh, man.
Oh, no. I just basically, in a nutshell, just said to check out my review on popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. So it's there. It's really, yeah. Can I tell you or not if it's a great movie?
Sure.
It's a great movie.
All right. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. You probably will enjoy it even more than I did.
All right. Well, good.
Yeah. So there you go. That's pretty much what I'll tell right now, because I don't want to go into any spoilers, because I know Josh will come over from Orange County and hit me. So I will leave it at that. What are your thoughts on Blade Runner 2049? Also, as well, I want to hear your thoughts on why you did go see the film, and also why you stayed away, because the film did earn $31 million at the box office domestically this weekend, but it was under expectations. Hopefully it was going to garner between 45 to 55 million. It could have a long life, because it is a very highly rated movie, and it's also great word of mouth still going on it at this point. So I'm hopeful that it will find a life in the theaters, because I think that's the best way to see it in this case, because it's so beautiful to watch and so great to listen to. So share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanican, and also Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Once again, like I said earlier, Rob McCallum from Rob McCallum Films. He's on deck with the Cosmic Crossfire. Tyler Baker coming up with a recap of Week 5 in the NFL for fantasy owners. And then Josh and I are going to talk a big week for Star Wars, and it's already started in more ways than one, and we're going to share our thoughts on that as well. But first, we've got Josh's friend. But first, we've got Chad Smith from Hyperschmidt. This is Fighting Eyes, and this is the Pop Culture Cosmos. From Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source, we truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast here today. And to close things out, we're going to have a little bit of talk about Star Wars and all the great things that are planned for it as we speak on the Podcast Radio Network. It's going to be just about live, and you'll be able to check it out right after the show. Before I go in on places where you can find the Pop Culture, the PCC Friday show, what's going on with all the great stuff? Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, we'll have a new Topicocalypse, possibly a new Chad and Travis's musical show about music. It's been a long time. They approached me about wanting to do it again, so we'll see how that goes.
You can say that again.
Yeah, it was a very popular podcast, so we'll see. But yeah, that's we'll have we're recording a new Super BS, so you'll have some of that to look forward to, and also the Tuesday show, Attack of the Humanicans, which came in at what, 9, 10? No.
9th. It was 9th, and on the Podcast Radio Network, it's Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and it was, like I said, the 9th rated out of the, it's the top, in the top 10 as far as the Podcast Radio Network is concerned. That's awesome for you guys as well, correct?
Right. So, definitely good things going on, great things coming up. You'll be able to see a website of all the Humanican Media podcasts popping up here soon enough. It's just, making a website's not as easy as I thought it would be. And, Carly Cross from the Wix commercials clearly doesn't know what she's talking about. It's actually a lot more complicated than that.
Yes, it is. But you can always throw the stuff also as well on the popculturecosmos.wordpress.com page. Can add the RSS feeds for all your show there. Just send them over to me, and I'll be glad to do so as well. So you can check it out there indeed. Or you can check out all of his shows on YouTube, on the Humanican Media channel on Facebook, Twitter, also as well, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and so many others. Check out, just type in Humanican Media, and it comes right up. All the great places where you can find his great shows indeed. And for us, Pop Culture Cosmos and the PCC Multiverse is also available. That's our Friday show, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Podcast Radio Network. And it's also available on so many other streaming and podcasting outlets, including Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, the Ace Podcast Network, Overcast.fm, Player.fm, Google Play, Stitcher, Podcast.com, Mixcloud, the ESO Network, the Tangibound Network, the Gunny Geek Network, Cast Crunch, Social Podcasts, and popculturecosmos.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
So we're in for a great week, and like I said, if you get a chance, you're going to check out the Star Wars trailer, and we'll, as soon as we get a chance, we'll pop it up probably right after the Monday night show airs here on the Podcast Radio Network. It'll be available on the Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook site. That'll be the Star Wars newest trailer. I know hopefully we'll be able to break that down on the Friday show, because there'll be people still talking about it even to that time. Also as well, there was this weekend, Star Wars Battlefront 2, a lot of great action there going in the beta. I got a chance to check it out both from a space battle and also a ground battle, as far as taking a look at the different scenarios and see how everything flowed. It moved okay. I still had some issues with some frame rate issues. I still had frame rate issues in this one. So the smoothness was not always there, but I know that's probably a work in progress. That's why they have a beta, but the gameplay seemed to be even more fun than I had before. But I'm still not loving the loot boxes and the play to win scenarios. That's still not exactly something I'm endeared to. But this is the new day and age of video games where dollars and they want so much more than that. So I'm gonna have to get used to that indeed. And then also as well, you got, like I said, Star Wars: The Last Jedi trailer coming out. Like I said, right as you're hearing this show. So check that out again on our Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook page. Josh, as someone who likes the slow burn on the Star Wars universe, it looks like, judging from this past weekend and what's going on as the show is airing, that Star Wars is starting to gear up right now with the Star Wars pub machine. The Star Wars publicity machine.
Oh, sorry. For some reason, thinking about PUBG when you said that. Anyways, yeah, no, it's coming up. Like the release is right around the corner. It's coming out in December, and it was New York Comic Con's going on right now, so they're putting all the toys out. They showed you the new Obi-Wan action figure, which I imagine is going to be some sort of lead-in for the Obi-Wan movie, or they'll mention it in some way.
And tickets will be available as you're hearing this. Tickets will be available on the day of this airs on the Podcast Radio Network on Monday. So by the time that the video comes out, tickets will be available to get for The Last Jedi.
Right. So I think it's a great time for them to start the publicity machine. Because it's October and the movie comes out December 19th, right? Is that, yeah. So it's, what better time than now, honestly. And it's no matter when you start marketing the film, it's going to have a bunch of people going to see it anyway. So it's, is there a wrong time to market Star Wars is the question we should be asking.
No, and there has been a great deal of time between the first trailer that was released. In fact, I just saw it the other day in IMAX, which looked beautiful on IMAX when I was watching Blade Runner 2049. So I ask you, is that a good amount of time between the first and second trailers as far as to get a maybe wet the whistle of all those Star Wars fans or people who just like to watch the Star Wars movies?
Well, it's funny. The Last Jedi trailer is weird in the fact that the last trailer that came out, they called it a teaser, but it was almost a full-length trailer in itself. So, I think at this point,
what defines a teaser and a trailer? If it's over a minute long, to me, that's a trailer.
Yeah, I always thought that a teaser was less than a minute, and it's just like brief flashes. But like that teaser was like, what, 3 minutes? So it's hard to, it's hard to say for sure. But I know a lot of people don't even like to watch the trailers when it comes to Star Wars, and that's their prerogative. And I'm excited for the movie, whether the trailer comes out or not, or whether the trailer is good or not. I'm still going to go see it. So now is a good time to release the trailer, get people stoked for it, especially if you're going to put tickets on sale at the same time. So it's kind of it's a win-win for them.
Exactly. And they're very, very good. Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, how they market, Disney, of course, how they're marketing the film and doing all the right thing and checking the boxes at the right time. I'm assuming that they had something coordinated with EA as well, as far as let's get people started with the beta on this weekend, then hit them with the trailer on the same day that tickets get released, as far as the tickets become available. I think that it's all a coordinated effort, and it's very good. We talked about on our last show, the PCC Multiverse, where we were kind of disappointed at the way Warner Brothers and Sony handled the marketing of Blade Runner 2049. We kind of liked as far as the mini movies that were set up in between the 2019 and 2049 scenario. But as far as marketing the actual movie itself, the original, where it came from, no bundles, no special tickets, nothing really offered with it. At the theaters, there was a special showing, but really not much offered with it as far as trying to set that up for the Blade Runner 2049. And maybe that's reflective in how it performed this weekend. Whereas you're seeing already the hype machine already starting to kick into full gear here as of this weekend with Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and definitely it's going in gear and it's going to have me excited. I do like seeing the trailers, and I know The Last Jedi gets and I know The Last Jedi will get uber uber awesome numbers on YouTube. In fact, probably will break all the records once Tuesday or Wednesday hits. But I tell you what, right now I'm very excited to see it, and I'm looking forward to. They're not going to tell you as much as you want to know, anyways. When it comes to Last Jedi, they're very protective of the actual secrets that goes on within the film. So I'm definitely excited to see The Last Jedi and get another taste of it. And they know what they're doing when it comes to actually how to market the film already. They've done it already so many times before. So definitely looking forward to it as well. Be available on the Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook. I'm pretty sure by the time, I know it's coming out during Monday Night Football. So Monday Night Football on the left-hand side, you'll have Pop Culture Cosmos on the right-hand side, and then also hopefully you'll have the Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook site showing the actual video as well. So there you go from there. Any last thoughts before we head on out?
No, not at the moment. I mean, I'm anxious to see this new Star Wars trailer. It's funny because each time a new Star Wars comes out, it's one more that you get to marathon before you watch the other one. So we're getting up there in numbers. So it's gonna, it used to be, it's just like with Marvel now. You have to watch like 20 movies now to get the full range of the story. So it's kind of exciting in a way if you think about it.
It is indeed, and I think to get the marketing machine even more revved up, you know what they did? TNT ran a marathon consistently all weekend long of the Star Wars movies. And I'm sure, first I thought it was the coordinated effort because of Harrison Ford, Blade Runner 2049. But then I realized, you know what? That's because of the Star Wars Last Jedi trailer coming out tomorrow, obviously intertwining with what EA is doing with Star Wars Battlefront 2, and obviously what they're all intertwining together in TNT, rolling out all the older movies up until, well, at least the first 6 that were intertwined as far as all weekend long. So the hype machine's starting already, and definitely glad to see it, because a lot of people like myself and like yourself cannot get enough of Star Wars. What are your thoughts on The Last Jedi trailer? You'll probably watch it as soon as you'll probably watch it as soon as this show is off the air. So send us your thoughts over the next couple of days. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. We'd really love to hear from you, your thoughts on the latest Last Jedi trailer. Also as well, Humanican Media, Pop Culture Cosmos, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. And share us your thoughts on Battlefront 2. And also, are you excited, or is the hype train starting a little bit too early on all this great Star Wars stuff? I was going to say Joss Whedon. So for Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.